Welcome back to my channel, everyone, and happy holidays. It has been a crazy few weeks, so one of the reasons why I haven't posted a video in a while is because I have a 3-week-year-old son now, and I've been juggling my time with my writing desk as well as being another father to another little one. So that's been taking up a lot of my time and a lot of my energy because I still have a 7-year-old running around, going to school, needing help with homework and other stuff. So it's been a long few weeks, and don't get me wrong, they're joyful weeks, they're happy weeks, especially with the holidays coming up. We're getting excited to celebrate Christmas, and we are making those preparations and plans. And like I said, it's just been a long, crazy few weeks, and as many of you should know by now, I do take my dear sweet time posting up a new video every now and then. So you guys shouldn't be too disappointed that it has been a while since I posted a video. But anyway, the reason why I felt like I needed to post another video today is because of my my mind's all over the place because I'm got 20 million things going on in my mind. But anyway, the reason why I want to make this video is because my new book, Tales from Other Worlds and Realms, Volume 1, it's scheduled to be released in January. And I'm getting really excited for that. Like I said, I have a newborn, 7-year-old, and me working on my novels and my stories. And right now, I'm so close to getting another one of my books in print because it will be available on Amazon and Kindle sometime in January. And with that, I am, you could say, trying to promote and advertise this next book coming out. And I already did one video where I was talking a little bit about this new book and what its contents, but after talking with my wife and a few others, I felt like I needed to, how do I put this? Give fair warning about what this next book entails. You see, my next book isn't one of my typical stories that I usually write. It's one of these stories that you could say makes people a little uncomfortable because it dives into a lot of things that I feel are going on in this world that need to be addressed and looked into and hopefully resolved sooner than later. So this is, you could say again, this book may make a lot of people a little uncomfortable, may creep a few people out, may even not be, quote, appropriate for certain readers and viewers. And there's a reason why. Like I said, in my last video that I talked about this book, this is a tribute to More Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. So a lot of the stories and contents within this new novel are thriller-based. They have a little bit of a scare theme to it. But for anyone that knows my writing style, I love symbolism and deep metaphors. And so I was really diving in deep into these metaphors with these stories and wanting to hopefully get some voices heard that may not be normally heard, which may make people a little bit uncomfortable, maybe even creeped out, maybe even a little shocked that I would write such a book like this that has so many collections of these types of stories. Like I said, this isn't my usual typical, you could say, genre of writing. It's still fantasy based, but it definitely has a lot more thrillers, sci-fi, and deep, deep metaphors that will make people ponder, question, and think about these topics that usually people do their best to try to avoid, especially in today's world, because in today's world, it seems like there's so many of these topics that people are just not comfortable in sharing. And I dove into these topics and tried to create a fictional based story to hopefully shed some light on certain events and certain outcomes to help people maybe find resolution, maybe find a bit of hope that somebody out there is understanding where they are and what they're going through at that point in time in their life. And I'm not a talented person in many aspects, but I am a talented writer, which is why I use writing as my way of coping with issues that are going on in today's world, but also to paint a picture, to get my voice heard on my thoughts and my opinions. And which is one of the reasons why I love symbolism and metaphors so much, and I incorporate them deeply into every story and every novel that I write. And I've said this before, and I'll probably say it continuously. With my stories, you always have to peel back the layers to try to figure out what I what could be the message behind these stories? What could be the philosophy that I am trying to share with everybody through my written word? And like I said, this video is to give my future readers a fair warning that this is not one of your typical fantasy stories. There will be stories in there that will probably give you chills, that will probably make people uncomfortable, and even make people question why I wrote such a book. And which is why I felt impressed to make this video. Like I said, my wife was reading the first draft of this book, and there's one story in there that she particularly finds a little disturbing, and is really surprised that I wrote a story like that in this book. And as I was explaining it to her, that story is to give those people a voice. Let those people know that somebody knows what you're going through, is listening to you, and is giving you a bit of hope that you can get through it. And I'm not trying to spoil too much of my story, and I'm probably making no sense and being a little confusing. So I'm going to use an example from one of my short stories that I created in this new collection of short stories that I'm having printed in January. One of the short stories that I created was called, its title is called Tori's Body. And I'm going to do you all a favor and peel back the metaphor, peel back the symbolism behind this story so that you guys don't have to. I'm giving you a freebie. So if you watch this video and then read the book, you'll have a freebie and you'll have an idea of what Tori's Body is about. See, Tori's Body, the deep meaning behind Tori's Body, is about teenagers and the struggles of going through high school life, especially when you are being bullied constantly. It's about a girl who struggles with her bullies and what may happen if there are no consequences to those bullies. For example, if those bullies keep getting away with what they do, with their hurtful words, their hurtful deeds, if they keep getting away with it, if they keep aggravating the situation, then the situation could get so much worse, just like it is in Tori's body. Because in Tori's body, the deep symbolism behind Tori's body is about a little girl who's a teenage girl who she's been bullied and bullied and finally snaps and gets her vengeance on all her bullies. And like I said, it might disturb a lot of people, especially the ending, but and it may make people uncomfortable reading this story, but I think that it's the uncomfortableness that we need to address so much, especially in today's world, because nobody is willing to talk about things that make them uncomfortable. Nobody's willing to speak out for those people that have struggled their lives with bullies, struggled their lives with so many things, addictions and other things. And because of that, things keep getting worse and worse. As I mentioned in my other video, I wrote this collection of stories as a tribute to more stories, as to a tribute, sorry. Again, sleep deprived, new baby, all this stuff, so I'm fumbling with my words a lot, but anyway, the reason why I wrote this book was a tribute to more scary stories to tell in the dark, because it's been a while since we've had a story like that in my mind. I have hardly came across stories such as that. And I figured, you know what? I can write my own collection of thrillers, my own collection of sci-fi, my own collection of things to spark imagination, spark thrills, and spark wonder. But more importantly, it was to spark awareness of certain things that are going on in this world that people just don't seem to address. I can't tell you how many times that I go on social media or go through the news and I hear about another school incident, a school shooting, a school incident involving a school where somebody just finally snapped because they've been bullied practically their whole lives and nobody did anything about it. The bullies kept getting away with hardly a slap on the wrist until finally the victim snaps and says, if no one else is going to do something about this, then I will do something. And sometimes it is in the worst way imaginable, where unfortunately so many people lose their lives because the victim finally snaps because they're so tired of being bullied, so tired of the world not hearing them, that they finally snap. And that's in essence what Tori's Body, that short story, is about, where a teenage girl just finally snaps. And like I said, it may make people uncomfortable. It may make people not want to read or even purchase the book. But I feel like it is an issue that needs to be addressed, that people need to talk about, especially to those victims out there that are on the verge of snapping. Because not just is it about a story about a young woman snapping and finally getting her vengeance on her bullies, but it's a story about hope, that there is somebody out there who is listening to you. Somebody is out there that will be willing to listen to you, hear you, and help you overcome those situations, overcome those bullies, make you feel wonderful, make you feel like you matter, that you're not scum, you're not, as many bullies put it, not human. Because, sorry, I'm getting a little emotional, because I too, in my youth, was bullied tremendously. I was bullied a lot. And if it wasn't for my family and my good friends that listened to me and heard me, I too might have snapped at some point because I was constantly being bullied left and right. All because I was a little different, a little strange, a little unique. And a lot of people tease me saying, I'm just not human. And in time, I've learned to take that as a compliment that, you know what, sometimes it's good to not be human because it gives you an outside perspective. And you can do so much more without that limit, those limitations that humanity seems to put on itself. Sorry, it looked like my computer was about to shut off for some reason, but it looks good now. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is I know what it's like to be bullied. And that's one of the reasons why I wrote this story, Tori's Body, was to give those people that are bullied a ray of hope. That, you know what, there's somebody out there. But also a word to caution to the bullies and to all these people that enable the bullies and allow the bullies to get away with stuff, that if there's no consequences to actions dealt to the victims might take matters into their own hands. Again, that's one of the things that almost breaks my heart to see in today's world, that there are so many of the victims where they're being bullied and they're almost being blamed, saying, well, if you didn't wear that sweater, if you did this or if you did that, then I wouldn't pick on you. It's like you are shaming them because they're unique, because they're different. And then with the teachers and faculties not stepping up and stopping the bullies, having no consequences for these bullies, the bullies keep getting away with it over and over again, and it can weigh down on those victims. And that's where, like I said, this book will tug at heartstrings, more than likely, will make people a little uncomfortable, may even disturb a few people, may even creep a few people out. But it's to help raise awareness. Because, like I said, I use symbolisms and metaphors to share my thoughts, to share my feelings, to share my philosophies of how I think the world should be and how to make the world a better place. So I think that's where I'm going to end this video on this note, is I hope you all purchase my upcoming book and look for those deep symbolisms that I have incorporated in each and every story that I write. And I hope that you peel back those layers. Again, I gave you Tori's body. I gave you the symbolism behind Tori's body, and it may make a lot of people uncomfortable, but I also hope that it brings awareness and that hopefully it gives those people that feel like they are victims of being bullied hope. Hope that somebody is out there who knows what they've been through, who knows what they're going through, and it gets better. Life can get better. There's more to life than just high school, and you could get through it. And I want to end this video on a happy note too, that the holiday season is upon us, and this is the time we need to be grateful for the things that we have. Grateful for the wonderful people in our lives that make our lives so much better. And if you are struggling to find those people in your lives, I pray that you do find them, because they're out there. There is somebody out there that's there to help ease your burdens, to make your burdens lighter. I know that to be true. And I also want to again advertise, because it is the holiday season, that I want to remind everybody that my first novel, Enchanted Love, is available on Amazon and on Kindle, and it is a perfect Christmas present, especially for those who have loved ones that love romances and fantasy stories. It is a wonderful story. It would be a wonderful gift to give them this holiday season, a great gift for Christmas. So I wish you all, because I probably won't be back on for a while. So I want to wish you all a Merry Christmas, a Happy Holidays, and a Happy New Year. And I can't wait for you all to read my stories, ask me some questions, and get to know me a little better through the stories that I write, because that is the best way to get to know me better, is through the stories that I write. Because every story I write carries a piece of my philosophy, my heart, and my beliefs. And I hope you guys look out for my new book, Tales from Other Worlds and Realms, Volume 1. And I've given you the fair warning. It may not be for, it's definitely a book not for the faint of heart. It is a book that will definitely pull at those heartstrings. It will be one of those books that is an interesting read, and it will hopefully get people to start thinking about how to be better people in this world, to be better neighbors, to be better brothers and sisters and sons and daughters. So I'm going to end this video on that note. Happy holidays, and be on the lookout for my new book that's going to be released sometime in January. Tales from Other Worlds and Realms, Volume 1, by me, Joe Noorlander. Till next time, see you later, and have a happy holiday.